Well, hello, hello, hello. We are back. We are here the day after election, and I have a special guest, Earl Hall. He's a he doesn't want to be here. We're forcing him. We're forcing him, and the reason why is because he is the best commentator. He's kept me up all night fussing at the TV screen. He watches the numbers come in on a state by state basis. He understands the battleground states, and I just kind of wanted to bring you into our home and bring him on. And he's given me exactly 10 minutes. Did you give me 10 minutes?
9 minutes.
9 minutes. 9 minutes, he says. So I am going to share my screen and show you all our national look at our elections. So we are doing a NBC News screen. And this is what we have right now in our presidential US elections. We have 227 electoral votes for Biden and 213 for Donald Trump. And when I look at this, I just see a sea of red. How should we be looking at this? What are your thoughts when you see this, Earl?
I mean, pretty much it's a wrap. Biden will win. Last night, I'm sure Democrats were jumping off the cliff and anxiety was very high. But as votes came in later into the night, Biden pulled ahead. So basically, when all the votes are counted, he's going to win Nevada. He's going to win Arizona. Georgia is a toss-up. He doesn't need it. North Carolina, he doesn't need it. Pennsylvania, he's going to win it, but he doesn't need it. He's already won Wisconsin and Michigan. About 97% of the vote is in Wisconsin and Michigan. And he also won the 4 electoral votes in Maine. He'll get 3 of them. Trump will get 1. So basically, Biden flipping Arizona, winning Nevada, winning Michigan, and winning Wisconsin puts him at 270. Everything else is gravy. If he wins Pennsylvania, if he wins Georgia, North Carolina.
Babe, do we have anything to worry about? Because I am terrified. I remember it was election day 4 years ago. You told me I had nothing to worry about. Hillary Clinton had it. That's what you told me.
Well, if Hillary Clinton would have won Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, she would have had it. She would have won 2016. Those are Democratic states. Democrats always win those 3 states. What made 2016 a disaster for Hillary was she lost all 3 of those states. No one predicted her losing the big 3, but she did. So that's how Donald Trump was able to win. This map looks the same as 2016. The only difference is Biden may flip Arizona from red to blue.
Okay, so that's one of these whites. It's still exactly. In like a gray color.
It's just in the gray color because they want to be politically correct. They don't want to call it, they can call it now. Fox TV, the AP News have called Arizona for Biden, but some of the other networks, MSNBC, are being safe, so they don't want to call Arizona and Nevada for Biden. But the polling shows that he's going to definitely win those 2, without a doubt.
Okay.
The white in Georgia, they're still voting. Okay. He has an outside chance to win Georgia. Again, it's icing on the cake. Does he need it? No. If he wins it, it'll be great. They still have to count, I believe, Fulton County, DeKalb, and I think it's Cobb. So I think
Gwinnett too, right?
I think Gwinnett may have, it may be at 97% in. I'm not sure. I think it is. But okay. He's like 100,000 down in Georgia. He could make that up. But again, that state would be gravy. But if he does flip it, then in this election, he'll have flipped 2 red states blue. Trump has not flipped anything. He's just won all the states in 2016 that he won this time. He hasn't turned a blue state red.
And you don't believe he will?
Not this time around.
Okay. So worst case scenario, well, no, before I ask you worst case scenario, can I tell you that what really bothers me is for 4 years, we've been watching Donald Trump in office, and I've never been so embarrassed, horrified about his decisions, his thought processes, his tweets. But everybody doesn't feel this way. He is not an outlier president. He is really, people support him, and they are supporting him now.
And
213 electoral votes right now.
In all actuality, given the condition of the nation, COVID-19, economy a disaster, various scandals in the Trump administration, you would think that this election would be a blowout. The narrative as of yesterday was that it would be a blowout when the polls were closed at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Democrats speculated that maybe they could flip Texas, maybe they could flip Florida, turn some of those red states blue. That was the thinking, but it did not happen. So they had to use the 3 states as the firewall. So you would think that Trump would not make the election this close this year, but Trumpism is in the nation. It's sad to say, but it really is. People voted on the Republican side for 4 more years of this. Even though it's COVID-19, the economy is a disaster and so forth, a certain amount of the American electorate wants 4 more years of Trump. So what you have to ask yourself is, what does that mean for half the country? What are they really voting for? If you're voting for 4 more years of Trump and the nation is in a disaster right now, what does that really say about the people that voted for him? Ask yourself that question.
You're asking me?
Well, I mean, you didn't vote for him. I'm referring to the people that voted for him.
Right.
Those 213.
Right. So, babe, on this side, this is the chat. So I'm going to tell you a few. Oh, Monica Wilson, our friend Monica Wilson, says, "Hey, Earl." Jessica Kelly, she welcomes you. She says, hey. I think Jessica's in Fairfield. Oh, by the way, Jessica is like this amazing woman doing emergency preparedness. And if we ever need to leave our home, we're going to Kelly's house.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that later.
Good.
Tiffany Jones says, hey.
Hello, Miss Jones.
And, she spent time went to school and lived in Georgia. So she's still counting Georgia. She says, but we have bigger electoral stories. Lisa says, hey, Big E, good to see you.
Hello, funny. Lisa.
Julia got married. She's now Julia Routson Thomas. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Land doesn't vote, she says. And Cortez says, hey. Cortez Quinn. Cortez Quinn is from, not only is he a great guy, but he comes from like this amazing family too.
Okay.
And Tiffany Jones is just blowing up our chat box now. She says, and we are redistricting statewide in California in early 2021, right? Because those census numbers are in, right? So we're going to be redistricting in the early part of the year. I heard that too. Tiffany, I'm not going to read that. I see you. So Jessica, I'm going to ask Earl. So Jessica says, do either of you have any input on how most of our states have already solidified their votes when they are still provisional and mail-in ballots that are probably have not been counted? That's a great question.
Well, I believe that's what the process, like they're not calling Michigan, Wisconsin,
You need to see a figure?
Nevada, and Arizona. So they're waiting till they can get officially certified by the state. So some of that may happen later on this afternoon. They say Georgia might be official later this afternoon. Nevada will not be official until tomorrow. Arizona, they may have more later on today. Michigan may be certified, they said this afternoon or into the evening. And like I said, Georgia, they may have results to make it official this evening. I'm not sure about Wisconsin. Pennsylvania, we may know better numbers today, but it probably won't be official till Friday. It probably won't be certified till Friday, is what the election people are saying in that state. But it looks like Biden is going to win that state because there's a lot of vote in Philadelphia and those surrounding suburbs, Bucks County, Montgomery, on the east side of Pennsylvania, and on the west side, Allegheny County, which consists of Pittsburgh. So you know what they say, you have Pittsburgh on the west, Philadelphia on the east, and Pennsylvania, and everything in the middle is Alabama. So go figure.
Okay, let's see if there's any other questions. Jason Roberts, I am going to be pulling up the Solano numbers in a bit. I can't wait to see your numbers. I was rooting for you, sir. Sarah Palmasino is one of my good friends. She is my voter registration shero, and I'm so glad to see her. Sarah, I want to have you on the show soon. Oh, wait. We're replying to Jason Roberts. Early congrats. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see your numbers. That makes me smile. Hello, Lanice Fan. She's saying hello and good morning. This is so exciting to see all of you all. So did we use up the 10 minutes with you? And do you all see why I had him on the show? We were having a debate this morning whether we should have him in a different room. I'm like, why? He really is my go-to to national elections. And I appreciate you and I love you.
Okay. You just owe me some more Starbucks later on today.
I had to run to get him Starbucks for him to do this.
All right. It's been a pleasure, people. Take care.
All right. Take your chair with you, sir. Our studio is small.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome. Awesome. So I am going to switch over to our local Solano County results. We're going to look at those. Lisa, can you send, if Jason is available, can you send him the link to this back end of process so we can say hi to him and congratulate him in person? That's only if you're available and dress, Jason. But we have another guest. While I'm clicking over to Solano, I'll see if she's ready. We have Alma Hernandez that is here in our waiting room. I'm gonna update this. And I'm gonna bring on Alma.
Hello, good morning, Patrice. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for extending the invitation. I'm so grateful.
I am so excited to see you. I'm trying not to get emotional.
Oh my gosh. Well, for those who are not aware, Patrice has been a great inspiration of mine for quite some time and a mentor. I've been tagging along by your side, just learning from you and asking questions. And you were so generous of just sharing your knowledge and your own experiences. And that was really centering for me throughout this journey. And you also helped be part of my design team for many of my graphics, for all of my literature material, my logo. I received so many compliments, and I was like, I have a great team who is super talented. Patrice, Brand Gov, check them out. And it was wonderful to work with you and have you guide me through that process as well.
That is, do you have one of your pieces near you?
Yes, there's the latest piece. All right, the latest piece included all of my endorsements, and
there you are.
There we go.
There you are. You know, it was a pleasure to design your logo. I remember talking to you over the phone when you hired me, and I kind of, what I do, I'm a very visual person, so I want to make sure that the design, the person's brand essence comes through in the logo and the design. And when I looked at when we finished your piece, I was like, this is her. Like the style, the class, the personality, the colors, everything. So yeah, many people don't know that we do political branding, but yours, they're all a pleasure, but I feel like we nailed yours. I was waiting for you to be like, no, I don't think so. I'd be like, no, ma'am, this is your logo. You're gonna take it. You're gonna keep it.
And you know, Suisun City, for those who are not aware, has wind and water, you know, and so that was part of what I was like, maybe something with wind or water. And I was sending all these little icons. She's like, no, that's not gonna work. But what I loved is people have said that, here we go, they felt my personality came through just on the logo at a glance by itself. And I shared with Patrice, and I feel that she did find a way to add a little bit of that breeze and water elements to the name itself. And so I just was very talented in the sense of just being able to listen through and just know me and translate. How do you translate me on a logo? And I think you did a really, really great job. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I have to tell you something else because Tiffany Jones is on the line.
Tiffany.
She hired me to do her logo, and she told me she was just naming all this stuff, a bridge or this or that. I was like, no, we're not doing any of that. So I don't know. I get all bossy when I'm visualizing people's brand. So when you were giving me all that extra stuff too, I was like, did you send me a bird? I was like, what is she?
I did. I was like, we have birds here. How do I tie in an element of my city within it too? And I think you caught it in a different way, but the elements were there, and I loved it. I loved it. It just and it's been something that I will continue to carry because it's my logo, my brand now, and that's how people know me. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And thank you for that plug. I didn't even imagine we would talk about the branding work, but I just want to just congratulate you. We're going to look over the numbers, and we're going to see if we have any other newly, well, I guess you wouldn't be, I don't know what you would be called. You have your numbers, you're going to be sworn in, and you're going to be one of our new city council people.
I am. I'm so excited.
How does that feel?
Oh my gosh, it feels so good. It was, you know, just to share for those who may not know me personally, I've shared this with a couple of people that I'm close to. You know, running, it requires a lot of courage. It requires just being in a different state of desire and want and need of wanting to make a difference, that you'll put yourself out there, and it can be a very, you don't know how. This particular year has been a hard year in just the rhetoric social in our society, and I was afraid of being a woman, being a person of color, what would that mean, and how would people what I would receive, and those are real fears that we navigate through. So when I first decided, okay, this is it, and my candidacy announcement came through on the Daily Republic, and it was like everybody knew. I prayed. I'm a person of faith, and I just thought, if this is my path, if there's a way that I can serve a greater purpose to the people around me in my community, the doors will open, and I will be guided through. And people like, that are on here, actually, that I'm recognizing names, as well as Patrice, have supported me and just encouraged me. And I've always seen those as the little signs that this is the path I was meant to be on, and have worked really hard to help community connect to me and understand why I thought it was so important to run. So waking up today, I felt both excited and also at peace, because I was like, this is what I meant to do. I knew it, and internally I felt it, that this is the path I'm supposed to be on. And then the universe guided me here, and I'm ready to work, and I'm ready to work for my community to make a difference. So just a little bit to share for people who don't know me personally, but I thought it is important to talk a little bit about the journey. And you wake up and it's still surreal, but I'm excited to make a difference.
I am excited too. Okay, Tiffany says you are Councilwoman-elect.
Councilwoman-elect. Ooh, awesome. Thank you.
And I believe Suisun City, I believe I feel like you get sworn in in December. I don't feel like it's January for you all, but I don't remember. You'll be able to tell us.
I'm learning.
Awesome. So let's look at some of the numbers. Your friends are saying hello. Dorris, where are you? I don't know where Dorris is. Dorris, you're supposed to be on here. So you come on. We need to talk to you. But in the meantime, we're gonna show our numbers. Let me make it bigger. Make us a little small. And what I'm going to do is skip through here a little bit. We have Jason that's coming on, Jason Roberts, council member elect Jason Roberts, I hear, that's coming on. We're going to skip our federal, excuse me a little bit. I'm just navigating my windows. We're going to navigate a little bit. We want to see your numbers, because I have some questions about your numbers, Alma. I was looking at them last night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this first...
Yeah, I had a chance to watch the numbers live with some of my family, and their reaction was just incredible, and it felt so good to share a moment with people who love me and care about me and have watched me work really hard to get here. You have worked really, really hard, and it's been a pleasure just seeing you in the community. Okay, here we are. I'm going to put you kind of at the top so everyone watching can easily see. So in your race, top it was vote for 2, right? Yes. And ma'am, you dusted it. I did. You wake up the day before, you don't sleep. You have anxiety around, what it'll be, and you just don't know. And I honestly couldn't gauge how it would go, because COVID-19 has been a real challenge to navigate through. So I had opted not to knock on doors and speak to people directly, for their safety and mine. But I did host a lot of meet and greets to meet people, and virtual meet and greets to meet people. But because of not being able to have real feedback, I wasn't sure. And so when the numbers came through, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that people showed up, and they showed up for me. And I am so grateful for that level of trust that I'm just honored to have. So yes. Thank you. Well, I tell you, so we also, looking at Anthony Adams and Mike Hudson, right now they're a point behind, but I'm sure we're still counting mail-in ballots. Yes, I received an email that mail-in ballots would be counted, and I think there's another report around 5 p.m. or the 5 o'clock hour later today to see. But I felt when I saw that, you know, every vote matters.
Every vote
Every
matters.
vote matters. And I don't know anyone else's strategy on who's on the ballot here, but I know that for my strategy, that's what I kept in mind, that every single vote mattered and every person mattered. And so I really was diligent about trying to do as much outreach and as many opportunities to connect with people. And I think in a space and time that we're in, people just want to be heard, and they want to know that they're being seen. And I made those two my priority, and navigated throughout how I could show up through various platforms, either at a meet and greet in front of a business, or on Instagram or Facebook, or through a virtual gathering space or connection. So, and email as well. And so, all of those ways that we want to connect with people, I tried to connect with people, I think showed up in my numbers, that people appreciated that, and I was able to connect with many.
Right. You ran a wonderful digital campaign, but it was really just a layer on top of the in-person work that you've done all those years.
Yes. So I've been involved in the community for quite some time, in many volunteer organizations. And what I was coming across was people were just introducing me or sharing my material because they already had an established relationship with me through some type of community service work. And that showed through. And I think that's it's one of the reasons I was running, is because when you're that involved firsthand in community, and you're seeing the real needs, because you're talking to people who have various needs in the community, and they're very diverse, you're seeing that here's an opportunity that you can do something to help. And so I think that just showed up through as well, just all the community involvement.
I think so. So let's see. I saw where Jason Roberts dropped in. I think he might be adjusting his camera. Oh, we see him. And I want you to make sure you see the chat, Alma.
I do. Sorry. Go ahead.
Uh-huh.
I was just trying to see. Thank you so much. I'm just saying a lot of positivity regarding my campaign, and just wishing me a lot of good luck, and thank you so much. It feels good to receive all that positivity today, when it's been a long journey to get here.
It has. Okay. Well, I'm going to stop this crying. I think with just seeing you just made me a little emotional. So know that you have my support, and the support of the community. We are standing behind you, and we're excited that you're going to be our next council person.
Well, thank you so much. I'm ready to work. So it's just moving forward from here.
Yay. Okay, I see Jason going in and out, and also I don't know why Dorris is trying to run from us today. I'm not sure, but we're going to get her too. Okay. All right, well, you take care, and while you wave to everyone and say hello, what I'm going to do is pull up Jason Roberts and his numbers. So I'm going to pull him up. But I want to make sure that you see everyone in the chat that's sending you all of this love.
Thank you so much, everybody. This is wonderful. And like I said, the work's just getting started.
It's just getting started. All right. Take care, Alma.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
We have pulled up Jason Roberts' numbers, and I saw him in the background. I have a feeling he's adjusting his technology and internet connections and all of that. And while he is getting situated, I am pulling up his numbers. Okay, Jason. You are in the lead. You're in the lead. I can't wait to talk to you and find out about your Okay, so Jason's going to be on in a bit. I have a feeling you are adjusting your, oh, okay. So Dorris, your iPad is acting up, huh? Oh, all right. But at least you're on the line and you're watching and know that we are so proud of you. Actually, let's look at your numbers and we'll talk about you, even though you can't see us. So let's go to the city of Fairfield. We have a number of races in the city of Fairfield that we are watching. We got to Pam Bartani first, and she got all the votes. She got all the vote for District 6. Dorris Panduro running for District 5. Ma'am, you slayed it. You did it. 2,451 votes. 73%. You did such a great job. And since you're not here for me to talk about you in person, Dorris said she can see me. Julia said Dorris kicked ass. Yes, she did. Blowout, Sarah said. You did it. You did it. Dorris ran 2 years ago. And we were talking about you, Dorris. You were having your candidates, your watch party last night, but we were talking about you, Mayor Lori Wilson and I, and we were saying that you didn't win 2 years ago. And I was stunned because the next Fairfield City Council meeting, you were there on the second row. And I was like, whoa, aren't you mad? Like, why aren't you there? And you're like, I'm not leaving my community. And here you are 2 years later at 73%. You did it. We're proud of you. We love you. And I can't wait to watch city council member meetings. And that's why we're doing this today, right? I want us to know who our elected officials are. And it turns out that the candidates I support, I know them because they're out in the community. I want them to know that they have our support. We're fighting for them. Now we're more likely to watch city council meetings because we know we need to support Dorris. We know we need to support her. And we want her to know we're there. We want her to know when she needs to make a decision. She wants us to weigh in. She wants us to say, you know, this position, this hurts. You know, this hurts me and my family, or this is good for me and my family. Our elected officials need to know that. Sarah says Dorris did not stop. And Dorris said, right. She says she's invested. She wasn't gonna leave after 2 years. Sarah says that Dorris was the first person at the evac sites. Well, that's you. That's who you are. We love you, Dorris. Yay. Okay, so while we're waiting for Jason Roberts, I'm going to go to the city of Vallejo. Well, no, let me just finish with Fairfield. So we have Dorris. Dorris, it looks like you are still going to be on the city council with Rick Vaccaro in District 4. Yep, all the precincts are reported. Now, can you all see that in District 4, there are 10 precincts. They're all reported, 100%. In Dorris is District 5, 10 districts reported. And we also have District 2. We have Scott Tonneson and Brother Ray Cartamachat. Okay, I'm going to mess that up for sure. I'm just going to say Brother May. So there's there's a short, where all 6 district precincts are reported. Scott, I believe Scott is the winner of District 2. But Brother Ray, you should keep running. You should keep running. Oh, I think we have Jason Roberts on the line. Jason!
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Where's my coffee?
I can come out the back, but I'll have you some coffee.
Yeah. Let me pull your numbers back up. We were watching your numbers last night, and I was watching your campaign. I got to meet you. Actually, before I bring that up, let me just talk one-on-one with you. There we are. That's the same seat that you were in when we first met on 9/11. You joined me for Unsung Heroes of Solano County.
Yeah.
And I got to know you and your dog. Where's she?
He's running around here somewhere. We just got back from a walk, so he's probably laying down being tired somewhere.
Right. And I got to know you and all that you were doing in the community. And I remember, and I had this moment when we were talking live as our unsung hero, that your area, so not only do you have a background in disaster preparedness, but your area in Vacaville had just been evacuated a few weeks before.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, we have someone that's running for office that has this background in disaster preparedness. And wouldn't it be amazing to have you on the city council? Because now we have this special voice that's on city council. So even though I don't know a whole lot of people in Vacaville, I was sure rooting for you and telling a lot of people about you.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Well, let's look at your numbers. Your numbers are a little bit tighter, huh?
Yeah, mine's probably the closest race out of the bunch. It was pretty consistent from when they announced the early voting numbers till the ones from last night or early this morning. Actually, it maintained that 2 to 3% margin pretty much the whole night. So hopefully that trend continues as the mail-in ballots continue to be counted.
Right. Are you hearing anything about when they suspect that they will have all of their mail-in ballots? Is it 2 days, 3 days that they usually come in by?
I have no idea. I think typically it'd be 2 to 3 days, but yeah, I'm not sure this year.
You know, the good thing about people were very concerned about mailing in ballots, but I wasn't. And I wasn't because I knew that our post office, our district post office, was out of Oakland. And I knew that our Solano County Registrar's Department was working really closely with the Oakland post office, and they had done this huge mailing of all of our mail ballots, and they had tracked it. We had gotten them in 2 days. They were really tracking the mail, and we were rising to the occasion. So anyone that put in their ballot through mail yesterday, I don't feel concerned that we are going to get your mail and we're going to get it in the next few days.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll get it all. It's just a matter of timeliness. Yeah, they did a really good job with all the ballot tracking this year, because as soon as I think later that day after I put my ballot in, I dropped off at one of the ballot drop-offs, I got the notification saying, hey, your ballot's been received. So yeah, they did a really good job with it this year.
So tell me what it was like running for office during a pandemic.
It was very interesting because a lot of the advice I was getting on how campaigns were traditionally done didn't really apply this year. So typical meet and greets and campaign fundraising events were non-existent this year. And so I did I used a website called CrowdPack, essentially a crowd fundraising site, kind of like GoFundMe, but meant for political campaigns. And that was pretty much my sole source of fundraising, besides a few check donations I received. But yeah, going door to door canvassing was interesting. Maybe only 10 to 15% of people actually answered their doors. And so that's when I switched over to having flyers made. So if people happen to be home, I saw them and they saw me and wanted to talk, I'd talk with them. If not, I'd just drop a flyer on their doormat.
We call that lip drop.
Yep.
Lip drop. Yep. Well,
Yeah,
I tell you, do you think that it helped that you've been, I believe you were, if I remember, you were born in Fairfield?
Yeah, I was born, I lived in Fairfield until I was 21, then joined the military. Then I was on the East Coast for a few years and then came back and moved to Vacaville.
So do you think it made a difference that you've been part of our community for such a long time and the type of work you do?
Yeah, I think it did play some role. And then, I've been in this area of Vacaville, what's now District 5, for about 10 years. And then I think, what I do with the emergency response, disaster preparedness played a big role this year because of the fires that we had. I put that in my ballot statement, the disaster response community service work that I do, but that was months before we even had a fire. I couldn't even predict that we would have had that this year.
Right.
And so, I think that played a big role in it.
So what do you so when I look at your race and then I'm looking at the other races, and let me see if you were at the top. Hold on. To me, what I'm doing is I'm kind of putting you all together in my mind on this board and thinking, what is this board going to be like? So I'm going to start at the top. And in District 1, Roy Stockton has a really big lead. I know him and I like him a lot. And I know a lot of people like Wendy a lot. So I knew that was going to be a tough race. But it looks like Roy is going to be on the board with you. Yeah,
he actually gave me a call this morning. Good guy. Yeah, I've spoken to him a few times during the campaign. I think Roy will be a really good addition to the Vacaville City Council.
I do too. And we have Mike Silva. Do you know him? District 3?
I do know Mike. I've talked to him pretty regularly during the campaign. He's a biotech professor at Solano Community College. He's actually on the school board right now. So with Vacaville really pushing the biotech industry out here, he's an excellent choice to have on the city council in terms of just fully understanding that whole field.
Not only does he understand that field, but he is truly community driven. He just, he's only been on the school board for 2 years. And in those 2 years, it's like he hit the ground running. He's such a passionate, engaged person. And I'm thrilled to see him on the council as well. So then District 5, you are holding your lead. And then we have one more person. You have a lot of change in Vacaville.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting. Right now we have at the lead, Jeanette Wiley for District 6. I don't know if you met her, but she is amazing too.
Yeah, I've met Jeanette, spoke with her plenty of times over the last couple months. Very intelligent, passionate about the community. So I'm excited to be able to work with her.
We have, I met her. She was a part of the Northern Solano Dim Club. And she's quiet, but powerful. She's got this like quiet, she's very quiet and thoughtful. That's what I think about. She seems like she's always processing, and when I just look at everyone that's here on this lead, it just I think Vacaville is in really great shape, and looking at it makes me feel really glad that we went to district elections.
Yeah, I'm really a big fan of district elections because it allows better representation of the city. So you're representing your constituents for your neighborhoods essentially. and so it allows a better, more diverse, representation of the city.
Sarah said that Sarah Palmasino, she is very engaged in Vacaville politics. She says Vacaville showed up. Yeah. Sarah. Oh, she's talking trash too. She says somebody was sitting on a beach in Hawaii. That's all right. She talks trash, but she puts power behind it. She walks for folks. When she's got you, when Sarah's got you, she's got you. So this is very good. Well, thank you for helping me look at the Vacaville landscape. I really appreciate it, because we're going to look at Vallejo next. And I don't see where we have someone to come on and help us talk about Vallejo. But that's okay. We'll just, if there's someone that wants to join me to talk about Vallejo, put a message in a box, and Lisa will get you this background information. But is there anything else that you want to close us with, Jason?
Yeah. People are interested in politics, especially running for some type of elected position. I'd say look into it and do it. Like, a lot of people worried about the financial aspect of running, which it can be very expensive. But if you look at my race, I didn't have endorsements of the unions. Mine is primarily a grassroots type campaign. And I only spent about $3,000 on my campaign, but I did a lot of walking, dropping off, doing lit drops, text messages, emails, that type of stuff. And yeah, I spent maybe a quarter of what my opponent did. And yeah, I still ended up coming out slightly ahead, but still ahead. So.
Did you know that you were going to run for office before the candidates filing period opened?
I'd been considering it. Something I was actually planning to do 4 years from now. I had a application filled out for the Planning Commission and the Parks Commission on my laptop, and then with the split to districts, and then with what would have been the incumbent withdrawing from the race, I decided to move that timeline up and give running for council a shot this go around. It's kind of like drinking from a fire hose, though, because there's a lot of subjects I was hoping to learn, gain knowledge of over the course of the next 4 years, and become a lot more involved in local politics, where it just all showed up at once, and spent a lot of nights up reading different policies in the city and going over previous council meetings and school board meetings, everything, trying to get spun up on what was currently happening.
And, and that's what makes you qualified and ready. You were thinking you needed some huge run time, and you didn't. You got caught up on the issues. You're already community driven. You bring in a specialty that we need, not only on the Vacaville City Council, but just in Solano County. We need you. Someone that's passionate about emergency preparedness, experience in that area. We need you as an elected official. We need your voice. So this was the right time. And with $3,000.
Yeah. A lot of, I was shopping around trying to do it as not cheap, but fiscally responsible. So like door hangers are nice. A lot of people use them, but the lit drop flyers are like a quarter of the price of the door hangers, and you can actually fit more information on them. So I was like, oh, that's the route I'm going. So.
Well, we know that on the city council, you're going to be watching Vacaville's dollars, and trying to squeeze a whole lot out of a little bit. That's what that tells me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not cheap by any means. It's more responsible with the money. If money needs to be spent, it needs to be spent. But if you don't have to spend it, or there's a better way or more fiscally responsible way to do it, then it always needs to be considered.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, awesome. Well, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you. I'm excited. I hope that those mail-in ballots, they keep coming that same way, and you maintain this lead, because I I see you already on the dais.
Yeah, I mean, regardless what happens, I'm not going away. So if I don't get it on, then I'll turn in that commission packet I still have sitting on my laptop, and then yeah, go from there.
You'll need it, sir. You give your packet to somebody else. That's what you have to do. You have to pull other people into the pipeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, good. You have a great morning.
Yeah,
and
you too.
You have to bring that dog back because what's his name?
Cash.
Cash. Cash is the cutest, sweetest thing ever.
Yeah, it's actually the silhouette that's on my campaign logo, if you've seen it.
I have seen it. Yes, sir. That didn't miss me at all. Yay. All right. Well, you have a good one. And for anyone that's still watching, we're about to look at our Vallejo numbers. We're going to look at our Vallejo numbers. Vallejo has been an area that many of us have been looking at. And we're going to start right here at City of Vallejo Mayor. All of the precincts are reported in Vallejo. We're at 100%. There are 56 precincts in Vallejo. And Robert McConnell has a sure lead. We are it's a little over 1,000 points of ballots different. So it's could there be a catch up with mail-in ballots for City of Vallejo? I don't know, because I don't remember. I remember there was a lot of mail-in ballots 2 years ago, but I don't know how much of an impact that would make, but it's something we should definitely think of. Everyone's looking at this race because we all know that Hakeem Brown was the lead vote getter coming into this, and due to kind of recent situations, I'm sure if not for that, he would probably be a far lead and definitely be the mayor of Vallejo. I was thinking about that about this situation today when I got a glimpse of these numbers and was thinking, what could have been done different. And I and as I said in a post that I wrote a few weeks ago, I needed to have acknowledgement of what was done a long time ago, what was done 10 years ago, and I didn't feel like there was any transparency there. And so when I think of this race, I think, it could have been different with pride being left aside and a true conversation with the people. I know it would have made a difference for me. And so looking at the other three candidates, John B. Kinney, I met him a year ago. He gave me, he contributed to my campaign, my run for city council. I'm sorry, for a county supervisor. Sorry about that. Slip. And so I knew him. I've met him that one time, and that was an interesting to know that he was running, because at first people were like, when they saw his name, no one knew who he was. Cornisha Williams Bailey, I don't know anyone that knows her in person, but I believe she was able to really, her numbers are based on her winning the Solano Republican Party endorsement. So I saw that she was on the Solano Republican Party endorsement. And I think that's what gave her a boost of these thousands, this 3,000. Because I don't know anybody that knew that know, not that I know everybody, I'm not trying to say that, but I do know a lot of people. And I just got a ton of calls that said, who is she? No one knew who she was. And then there's M. Avondale Haley Meals. She got under 1,000 votes. And I knew her too. I met her some years ago. And the last three people, I just didn't know them as community people that are out in the community doing a lot of service-based work. They could be, I don't know everything, but I've gone to literally hundreds of community events over the years. I stopped counting when we got close to 300. Over 300. So I've gone to a lot of community events and I'm very engaged in the community. And these are people I just hadn't seen. So anyway, that's what we have here. Hakeem Brown is still our Vallejo City Council member. So I will say that. So moving on to District 1, this is also a race that is being watched and very closely. We have our current elected official, Dr. Rosanna Vida Aliga. She has a very clear lead. We were watching this race closely because Vernon Williams III ran 4 years ago and ran a really strong race, didn't win, but was really, really well known. But I was wondering how it's going to play out. I saw that he also was able to get the Solano Republican Party endorsement as well. So I was wondering how that would play with his numbers for District 1. And so that's something very interesting to watch. And then, of course, we have Alex Matias. He has run a very strong campaign. I believe he is on 1 or 2 boards, commissions, boards in Vallejo. And I've watched him in endorsement meetings, really impressed with him. I don't want him to go anywhere. Alex, if you're watching, please stay in the community. We need you. You bring such a clear and passionate voice for young adults. Just really proud to watch your campaign. But very excited for Rosanna. She has a background in mental health. And over the last few months, I have personally seen where mental health and attention to mental health in our community matters. I know in the African-American community, it certainly matters. Are you seeing the same thing, Jason? Mental health?
Yeah, mental health is a huge aspect, and I deal with that a lot, dealing with the veteran community. But yeah, it's something that the cities definitely need to address. And combine that with the social work and the homeless community as well. I think that's going to need to be a big focus for a lot of cities to address those issues.
Yeah, I agree. And Rosanna, what I'm going to be doing is working with you to make sure that all communities, that we have a special focus in mental health. You ran on that platform. We know each other. We're friends. I am going to hold you to that, ma'am. We've got to do a lot of work surrounding mental health in these in various communities. So then we have District 3, City Council, and I paid special attention to this race as well for a number of reasons. One is because I own a house in Glen Cove that's in District 3. I have a transitional home there, and so I know the unique needs of Glen Cove firsthand. And but Nina is so interesting because she also ran 4 years ago as well, did not win. It was citywide, but since then, the city of Vallejo and other cities, they received a judgment because their city councils were not diverse enough. And I believe Mina was her name was mentioned in the lawsuit in the city of Vallejo. And so to see her not only jump in there, run so hard, and now the top vote getter here for that district doing so well, is really, it's heartwarming. It's really wonderful. It's wonderful to see. But I also would say that Lewis Michael also needs to stay in the community too. When we don't win races, you know, I'm the poster woman for not winning a race, but you've got to stay in. If you were in there because you're community driven, stay in our community because we need you. And now you have a platform. You have a platform to do so much good. So this other election is District 6 for City Council. And this was very, very unique because we have write-in Pat Hunter, and I believe countywide, she was the only registered write-in candidate. And if I understand this correctly, these rejected write-ins, they're rejected all over the county because to be a write-in, you don't just write in your name or write in your friend's name or write in my name. Actually, some people wrote in my name and I was pretty thrilled about it. You have to be you have to be an official write-in candidate. So Pat Hunter is really, it's interesting because District 6 was a district that was part of District 2 that I ran for county supervisor. So I knew this district very well. And what I knew about this district was it was a brown district. So there was a lot of African-American and Hispanic people in this community. And when a few of us saw that Pat Hunter and Cookie Gordon was running, we got them in a room and we said, this is going to be tough. Tina is a Hispanic woman. Actually, she's multi-heritage, I believe. And I've met her before and wasn't supporting her. And not bashing anybody, but I wasn't supporting her. And so Cookie and Pat Hunter was unique because they both worked on my campaign, meaning I knew these women, I knew them really well. So I was like, we can't, a few of us, we were like, two Black women running in each other, that's difficult. It's kind of better if you all talk, kind of make a decision, discuss it, see if you will, one person will run and get behind the other person. Just consider it, think it, whatever you do, we support you. And I tell you what, Cookie has 2,000 votes, a little over 2,000 votes. Pat Hunter ended up running as a write-in campaign. Write-in campaigns are so difficult. And I tell you, she did it in a really a beautiful way. I loved her graphics. I loved her out in the community, educating people on writing write-in. But as you can see from these numbers, it's a hard way to go to write in a candidate. It's just difficult. So for everyone watching, if you want to run for office, you figure it out early if you can, and before the deadlines, the candidate deadlines. Don't you wait to the last minute. You get ready to run in advance and be ready. Don't run from the moment. Because can you imagine, just looking at this race, can you imagine if it was just one of them, between Cookie and Pat Hunter, it was just one, and we were able to put all energy behind the one candidate that was written, that was actually on the ballot. This would look different. This would look different. So since we're talking about Vallejo, let's move up to Vallejo City Council. And we won't be too much longer, Jason, but it's just a few key seats that I know people are asking about. And this is the other key seat. It is the Vallejo City Council. Oh, you know what? Before we do Vallejo City Council, because you're still here, Jason, can I ask you a little bit about the Vacaville School District? I know you didn't run in that area, but I bet you know some of these people.
Yeah, I know a couple of them.
Yeah. So for Area 6, Trustee Area 6, and that's the other thing, we need to start getting used to saying our district or our trustee area and know where we live. So this was a good starting point, but we need to continue that education and knowledge and know where we are. So in Trustee Area 6, we have Kelly Ann Welsh, and she is showing a clear lead, and Tracy Stacy. That's a cool name. I don't know her at all. I don't know Tracy Stacy at all. I do know Kelly Ann Welsh. I saw her as more of a county-wide leader. Done a lot of work with the Democratic Central Committee in the past. Solano County Democratic District. I'm messing that up, I know. But she's done a lot of work there in the past. And so I didn't know how this was going to work out. But I do know Kelly is a mom of 2. I know she's passionate, and she's an attorney. And I just thought she was going to be great in the seat without knowing Tracy. Do you know either one of them?
Met Kelly a few times during virtual calls, like almost everybody running in Vacaville. I've just only met through calls because I didn't really look too much into meeting other candidates prior to the election, especially since I got in the race a little bit later than most of the others as well. But yeah, Kelly's super intelligent, very motivated. Spoke to her briefly last night, like as elections were kind of going on. Yeah, so I'm excited to see her on the school board. I think she'll do a lot of good.
I think she will too. I will do too. And so let's then talk about the Vacaville Unified School District, Area 7, and then we're going to go to chat and see what people are saying about the areas that we looked at already. So Michael, I've met a few times, heard a lot of great things about him. Don't really know him very well, but I have people in my circle that say he is pretty outstanding. I believe Kyla, her name rings a bell. I feel like she's run 2 years ago for school board when it was citywide and not district-wide. I could be wrong, but I really feel like I've seen her name before. And I don't know George K. Burton at all. You know anyone that's
I know Michael. Actually, with the Area 7 for the school board, that actually overlaps quite a bit with my city council district. And so I've run into Michael a few times. I know he's been on the school board for a while. And yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. My interactions with him have been good. But I don't know him very well personally. But yeah, is it Kayla Hastings? She has some giant signs all over my neighborhood.
Oh, she does?
Yeah. I haven't met her or George. I know a few people. I know George Burton, and say he's a good guy, but I personally haven't met or spoke with him at all, myself.
Right. Well, I think these are 2 people that need to stay in the community, stay engaged. Let's see. So Tina Miller. Hey, Tina Miller, how are you? She says, Tracy has been a passionate Vacaville supporter in mental health and the youth. I've known her for many years. Oh, good. So that is someone that knows Tracy. That's, did I already forget her name? I think Tracy Stacy. I don't know. She's got a great name. So that is good. Thank you, Tina, for giving us that information about Tracy. Tracy, stay in the community. We need passionate folks in the community. And mental health and youth, we need you. Matter of fact, I will put my phone number here. If anyone wants to work with me, anyone that is community driven, I want to work with. Tiffany Jones says that Kelly is a worker. And it's the Solano County Democratic Central Committee. Thank you, ma'am. Tiffany Jones is one of the regional chairs just elected to the Solano County Democratic Central Committee, and she was not going to let me misstate that. So Tiffany Jones says, know where you live and know your district area. Know your district area and know your trustee area. Your trustee area is related to school districts. So for Tiffany says that Pat got a ton of major endorsements. So yes, Pat Hunter got a lot of endorsements. Labor, Central Committee, early endorsement for Bawapa. She got so many. And to see how that related in actual votes. And of course, we're looking at the votes without the mail-ins yet, but just using it as a guide. It didn't transcend. Why? It's hard. It's hard to get people to write in a name. It is hard. Be on the ballot. That's what we want to say. Tina, I love you. And you know how I feel about your husband, JD. I just think he's the best thing in the world. Oh, Tiffany said, don't put my business out. I don't know what I said. Tiffany Jones says, Louis Michael is great too. Can't wait to see more from him. There's so many great people, great candidates. And this really is, even for those that didn't win, it really is almost this coming out party, that says, I'm here, I care about the community, I'm putting myself out there. We cannot forget these people. We need to really go to them and see what they're doing and see how we can help them be part of them in the community. So let me talk about the city. It was, where were we, Jason? Oh, I know where we were. We're at the Unified School District. We were going to look at Vallejo because that was really interesting. So let me make sure that everyone can see where we are. And okay, and we have a screen that's popping around. Sorry about that. Okay, let me make sure that everyone can see what we can see. Can you see the Vallejo City School Board, or is it still popping around? Okay. Hold on, Jason. I think we just have a moving mouse here. It's kind of doing its own thing. Okay.
There you go, and kind of see it there.
Okay, good. So here we have trustee area number 2, and this is Christy Gardner is the incumbent. She actually ran 4 years ago, did not win. She was the fourth or third highest numbers 4 years ago. And then there was someone that stepped down from the board. Marianne Kearney Brown stepped down from the board, and Christy Gardner was moved to the board. At the same time, so she is the incumbent, 3,297 votes. And now we have 2 Robinsons. And this is a very, very interesting race because the inside track, we were looking for Tiffany Jones. Yep, you're getting called out. We were looking for Tiffany Jones to run this race. She is North Vallejo, is community driven. Willie B. Atkins works in the school system. We wanted her so bad to be in this race, and at the end she couldn't because she loves her job with Vallejo Unified School District and working with those children. So who was in the race was Rena Robinson, and Belinda Robinson. And what's interesting in this case, and really what I want to talk about it, because to me it's almost a case study. So two Robinsons, both Black women, running against each other in the same district. Trustee area, let me use the right terminology. Area, the same area, trustee area. It just is confusing, doesn't make sense. Belinda actually is really well known as a parent advocate, I'm told, and is known by a different last name. So everyone in the community knows her as Belinda something else. And so she ran with a name that, from what I understand, people don't know her as Robinson. Mm-hmm. And it's sad because it's sad for me as a Black woman that has her fingers in Vallejo politics, if we didn't have one great candidate to put our energy behind, would that have shifted this race? And I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would have sat down like both of them and decided amongst themselves who would probably be the better candidate, because that definitely would have split their votes, especially with the same last name, reaching out the same demographics, where the 900 something votes that Belinda got could have easily put, what's her name, Rena, above Chrissy Gardner, because they were only separated, Boaz, at 400 votes.
Yes.
So they would have sat down and hashed out before the election even started, before the race campaign season even started. They could have put one over the other. So.
Well, Jason, that just, as Tiffany Jones says, that just sounds too much like making sense, because I thought about it. I thought about having a conversation, and it went so poorly with Cookie and Pat Hunter that I was like, so many people were upset. They were upset that, that I was one of few women that were like, this doesn't make sense. And this is why this doesn't make sense. In the meantime, Rena is somebody that works for a different school district. She has strong family ties here. She obviously knows how to move votes. And I think if she had also even come out earlier, that clears the field too. Jason, like, what clears the field is if you don't wait until it's time to fill out your candidates forms. Can you imagine if 2 or 3 months early, Rena Robinson has said, I'm here, I'm in the field.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. That's a game changer. I also wanted to bring attention to Dr. LaTanya Young and Robert Lawson. That is a very interesting race as well. Robert Lawson was a incumbent. He's an incumbent, and it just watching him on the board, and I could just be wrong, but I'm just telling you my thought. Watching him on the board, it felt like he was just kind of like marking the time almost. You never see him got excited or engaged. It was just like he was just kind of marking the time. But he was an interesting candidate because his numbers were so high when he ran the last time. And so now here is Dr. LaTanya Young. Dr. Young has been, she was born and raised in Vallejo, I believe born and raised in Vallejo. For 20 years, she has either been a teacher, admin, or principal in the Vallejo Unified School District. So there's something about that excited her campaign with that background. That really excited me personally for her to run for office. Like, she has so many hats. She has so many hats. So she's coming from all these viewpoints. And I felt like she would at least be engaged. when she came. And to me, it just could be Robert's personality. I don't know. Maybe his personality is just very, very laid back. Maybe that's it. But I don't know. I needed someone that was a little fiery, and cared and had these backgrounds. So I'm really excited to see her on this. She's going to be on this board. Very exciting. I bet you didn't know anything about that. All that going on in Vallejo, huh?
I did not, but it's definitely good information because one thing I want to do is definitely work a lot more closely with the surrounding cities, because what happens in one city can easily affect what happens in a neighboring city. So I'll definitely be reaching out to a lot of these people to at least get to know each other and see how we can help each other out.
I think so. I think our power is when our cities are working together, both and communicating, both the city, these city seats, city council seats, and also the board seats and the county, and working together with our assembly members and our Senator Bill Dodd, and our congress members. When we're all working together, we're all on the same page. We're all bringing these unique viewpoints. Like, for example, Jason, you having your background, I could see you adding instant value anywhere you sit. I can see Dr. Young bringing value anywhere she sits. That type of background. Oh, I'm sorry. And that wasn't 20 years. That's 40 years of district experience in all levels. When someone like that comes to the table, you bring this body of knowledge and experience that cannot be denied. It really makes Solano County stand out in this unique, amazing, beautiful way. And so we are not going to keep folks any longer, but thank you for spending this time with me, Jason.
Yeah, thanks for sending me the invite.
Absolutely. You have a good day. You make sure, Cash. I'm gonna get it straight, Jason. I'm bad with names.
He's just sitting right over here. He's watching.
Yeah.
Hey,
Cash.
come here. Hey.
Cash. Hello. Hey, Cash.
Yeah, he's just walking around being lazy and old right now.
That's how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna take a walk and I'm gonna go take a nap.
Sounds like a great plan.
Wow. Well, thank you for spending this time with me. And I need to make sure I have your direct number.
Yeah.
Well, no, we'll don't you give it to me now, because everybody will have it.
I mean, it's out there anyways if people look at all the voter information anyways.
Make them work for it, Jason.
Yeah, I'll send you an email and get you my info.
Okay, sounds good. Well, to everybody that was watching, that will be watching, have a great day after election. We may be coming back live tomorrow to see where we are with the presidential races. I don't know if my grumpy husband will join us again, but you get a little piece of what I experienced with him. He's a lot of fun and knows a lot. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I might have to get him Starbucks to convince him to come back on. But for now, just have a great day, okay?
All right. Thank you. You too.
Take care.
All right. Bye.